Before we used our Wii remotes to make Spider-Man swing across the city of New York, we got to control Spidey on the PlayStation for about a year or so. Now, the first game on that console was great. So great, in fact, that they ported this to the Nintendo 64 and Sega Dreamcast. Interestingly enough, the sequel did not get the same treatment, and therefore this became a PlayStation exclusive title. This is my review to Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. Let's check it out.
Lightning rings. I suppose it could be
The
worse.
sequel to the very popular PlayStation 1 adventure seems to pick up from where the last one left off. The story involves Electro stealing a device that can increase his powers. Naturally, it's up to you to save the world. Before you do that, however, you'll be reminded of such things as your Spidey compass and how to web swing and basically how to kick some ass. This time, the list of villains looks considerably smaller than in the first game. You'll face the Sandman, Lizard, Shocker, and Hammerhead. I guess it's important to keep in mind the more interesting supervillains are already in the big house thanks to you. The game doesn't really focus much on wrestling Spidey's gallery of rogues. At some point you'll have to rescue a runaway plane, find colored keys to disarm a bomb, do a quick street patrol, and do other heroic deeds. Fear not, this stuff doesn't get tedious. You won't be delivering pizzas or rescuing the same dumbass citizens over and over again. The game has a bit more variety and strategy as well. When you're facing some of the supervillains, there's usually a way to defeat them instead of just punching and kicking. Spidey will actually throw little hints during combat. Shouldn't be hard to figure out the rest. If it has been a while since you've played the PlayStation Spider-Man and you need to be reacquainted with the game, you can choose some training sessions which take place in the X-Men's Danger Room. You'll learn how to use the targeting system, do some special moves, and, if you wish, beat up a few generic bad guys. Now, I'm sure you modern gaming nutjobs have already whined about the graphics at least 3 times during this review. You know, even for 2001, the graphics are pretty good. Sure, you don't see any lips move during the cutscenes, big deal. Half of you people are going to skip the cutscenes anyway. But me, I happen to like them, and even though I've seen them a dozen times, I don't mind looking at them again. The in-game action is pretty sweet too. Sprites are animated well, web swinging looks cool. I don't have to shake any Wiimote like a jackass to swing throughout the city. And yes, I'm aware that the game is linear, and you're limited to where you can go. Suits me fine, keeps the player focused on the game instead of going off on ridiculous little side missions. The music is decent enough, but the voices more than make up for it. Stanley is once again narrating parts of the story, and Reno Romano is once again voicing Spider-Man.
Of superhero daring do. Now it appears that trouble has found our arachnid hero yet again.
Since this is the PlayStation, however, some of the voiceovers repeat during gameplay. Not really a big deal. The sound effects do deliver, so we can move on to the control of the game. It would have been nice if the camera was a bit more controllable so I can see just what I'm doing sometimes. There are different control schemes, especially when you're playing in kid mode, so it isn't that difficult to get the hang of our hero. Punching, kicking, and the various ways of using your webbing work fairly well. I'm sure most of you had to repeat some levels a couple of times before completing it. Took me about 20 times to stop that damn plane. Now, the game might be a bit easier if you can unlock some of the costumes or use the Create a Spider feature to enable our web slinger to jump higher, have unlimited webbing, and so on. There are many other unlockables, so the game is worth playing. Even if you're not into playing the game just to unlock extras, you'll want to give the sequel a go. I'm telling you, keep it. A good reason? Because you're not delivering pizzas in this sequel. Enjoy!
There's got to be a control switch here somewhere.
You should have called for